dealing with debt, you know how frustrating it can be, and so do we. We're Family Credit Management, and over the past 20 years, our experts have helped thousands of families conquer their debt. What we do is work with you and your creditors to find a customized solution to your finances. Isn't it time you took control of your financial future? As one of the nation's largest nonprofit credit counseling agencies, we're trusted experts who can really help. But you must take the first step.
Good evening and welcome. My name is Letitia Griffin, and I'm a consumer advocate here tonight with Family Credit Management Services to just share more information with you regarding debt, finances, any type of money-related issues or topics that you want to discuss. You can do just that. Just give us a call at 312-738-1060, and we're here for the next 25 minutes or so. So feel free to take advantage of that. Now, also, if you do not get the opportunity to call in, or maybe you're not comfortable speaking on the air, feel free to contact Family Credit and speak with a certified counselor. They're available on standby right now to discuss any type of money-related issues with you. The great part about Family Credit is that you can also speak live, speak directly with a credit counselor using the chat feature at familycredit.org. That's a great one-on-one way for you to get the information that you need, because a lot of times we don't know where to go for help, and Family Credit just gives another valuable option for you to do just that. The counselors there are ready to answer any questions, and if you want to, feel free to give us a call and ask any questions that you may have regarding debt and finances. I'm here tonight to just give you more information, and today let's get into our topic. The past few weeks we've talked about rebuilding credit, we've talked about credit repair, and we've talked about budgeting a little bit too. But tonight I wanted to just talk for a moment on scams. And there's been such a large increase on scams that are readily available, and we're just not sure everyone knows about them. So my goal tonight is to bring those to you. We'll discuss the scams and what you can do to avoid being a victim, and then later on we'll talk about what you should do if you are a victim. Now, if we don't get to that, we'll probably save it for another show too. But the important thing is making you aware as a consumer of everything that's out there. And again, if you have any questions, you can contact the counselor at Family Credit at 800-994-3328 to ask any questions that you may have regarding your finances. Now, a reason that we're doing this is because I want you to be financially prepared and to know what's out there. So there are a lot of scams that are out there that we'll talk about. And one of the most common ones that I've seen, especially recently, has to do with just a lot of different payday loan scams and debt relief scams. So we'll get into that in a second. Looks like we've got our first caller. Hi, caller. Welcome to the show.
Oh, hello. I wanted to ask, I had a few collection accounts. I have quite a few. They're older, and I get phone calls all the time. And some of them I don't even recognize what the accounts were. So my question is, how do I know if these are people trying to scam me, or how do I know who I actually owe?
That is a really wonderful question that we need to explore just a little bit in detail. Now, when you're looking at that and you're thinking about all the debt you have, a lot of times you don't remember what debts you're dealing with, and that's normal. So you do need to request whoever you're speaking to validate that debt for you. They can send you the notice in writing in the mail. That's the best way to go, because you don't want them calling you, harassing you all the time. You don't want to open up yourself for other calls if that's not your debt. But you want to make sure that it is. So you want to have them validate that debt, and they need to send you a letter stating that. Now, what we're finding is that a lot of times people will become high pressured with these collectors calling and acting as a collection agency. I've seen some call stating that they're right here, that you have this debt, you know you need to pay it. And a lot of times you can tell that some of these people that are calling, they may have a thick accent, they may say that they can't send you the information. So there are some red flags that you can be aware of when you're dealing with this. You want to make sure that any debt that you have is reputable, that it's yours, and that you're dealing with someone who's actually the collector. A lot of times you can go back to the original creditor with that. And so you do want to do that. Find out as much as you can about the debt. Ask them to validate it. And if they can't, guess what? They should not be calling you. And you need to take steps as a consumer to get that fixed. When you're thinking about those debts that you may have accumulated over time, and like I said, you don't really know, the best thing for you to do is pull your credit report to find out if it's on there. If it's not showing on each one of the credit reports, then most likely that's another red flag. So you want to make sure that it's not your debt. And that caller actually gave us an example of something that a lot of people suffer through and suffer from with those collection calls, because you've got people calling you and harassing you, telling you to pay that now. I've seen a lot of senior citizens fall victim to this scam. I see a lot of people who don't even, that may not have bank accounts, fall victim to it. And what happens is someone will call you and tell you that you need to pay this debt now. And you may try and get off the phone with them, but they will tell you that they're going to sue you, that they're going to send police to your house, that they're going to come to your job. So there's all these different types of harsh tactics that those people may be trying to use to get you to pay money. Now, one of the things that I wanted you to be aware of is that when people ask you to pay money, you need to think about it and actually take a step back and see, how are they asking you to pay this debt? If it is a reputable collection agency, it's really your debt, and they actually want to help you with that, there's signs that you can identify and ways to make sure that they're reputable. They will ask you for bank account information. You may or may not want to give that to them. I never recommend giving your bank account information out to anyone. You can take down an address, you can mail them a payment, and deal with it that way. But you want to make sure that it's the real place that you're dealing with. Looks like we've got another caller.
Hi,
caller.
I'm looking to get a personal loan. I went to my bank and they can't help me because my credit isn't good. I found a company online that said that my credit score didn't matter to them, but they want an upfront fee to lend me the money. Does that sound like a scam?
Honestly, it does. Anytime that you are dealing with these types of places that ask you to pay up front, that's a red flag. There's so many different scams out there, which also include like different promises of real estate or investing scams. Also those scams that promise that they will give you a loan for nothing, but you need to put down $600 or a processing fee or closing costs. Those types of things you want to stay away from, because usually, like I said, fast money is never really cheap. It's going to come at a high cost, and most likely you are going to be the one that misses out, and it could possibly mess you up. You also want to do some research on whoever it is that's contacting you, actually stating that they're going to give you a loan. Look them up. See what their reputation is like. I want you to feel free to just research every company that you come across and see if there's anything out there against that company. There's so many different lawsuits out there against companies now that are scamming people. The FTC actually just released their press release that came out stating that they are actually mailing checks back to consumers who have been the victim of a payday relief scam. And this, it was the Payday Support Center. And they promised people debt relief. And all you had to do was sign up with them and they would take care of it. If you got payday loans with them, they take care of it. They negotiate everything. But that's not what they did. What they really did is that they stole money from consumers and they put them in a financial bind. It was a huge scam that the FTC finally cleared up, and they're actually having to refund consumers. The average consumer is going to get about $264 back. And this started back in 2015 when this entity was caught. So just think Keep in mind how many people became victim of this, thinking that they were going to get help, that they could get out from under the payday lenders, and that they were finding a reputable organization to help them. And that's not what happened. They were taken advantage of. I want to avoid you from being taken advantage of. I don't want you to feel like a victim. I don't want you to become a victim. So it's always best to know what's out there, know what other scams are out there that are there so that you can avoid being a victim. One of the things that you need to look at is if it's a reputable institution. Who's ever promising you money, feel free to look them up. If you've got questions, if you're dealing with someone that you're not sure about, you can contact a certified counselor and ask just for help or information regarding those types of scams, because we want you to be empowered to control your situation and to not be taken advantage of. Want you to be able to spot imposters. There are so many people posing, trying to say that they will help you, and they won't. So be aware of that. Do online searches. Look up everything you can about them. Contact whoever you have to just to find out if this place is reputable. Now remember, you want to go with a trusted website. If it's something like from the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau or the FTC, the Attorney General. Those are the types of searches that you want to do. You can also call these government entities to find out more information about the organizations that you're thinking about going with. And don't believe the caller ID. A lot of times we've got caller ID phone calls that come up. Do you know, like the collection agencies, the scammers, the schemers, the imposters, they stay one step ahead and they know how to target you. They know what your area code is. They know what your zip code is. They're looking up information to see how they can best take advantage of you. And so one of the tricks that I know that they try is they can manipulate their phone number to be a phone number where you may think there's someone you actually know. They can use someone close to you, their phone number. And they can pose as an imposter. So you want to be careful. If you see numbers, let's say you dial this 312 number all the time that has the first 3 digits. Well, they're going to call you from a phone number that looks similar because they want you to pick up, and then they want to be able to intimidate you or just hard pressure sell whatever it is that they think they can get you to buy. Be careful with that. And again, you don't want to pay fees up front for anything, not for debt relief, not for a loan offer, not for a job. There are places out there that will tell you that, hey, we'll give you this job. All you have to do is put $200 down and then we'll take that out of your first paycheck. And that's not really anything more than a scam. Watch out for anything that's saying that they're going to give you a prize and give you money. These are places and entities looking to take advantage of you. And so I want you to just pay attention to that and not fall victim of it. Don't give out your information at all. Don't give out your bank account information or your credit card information. Your social, that's a private number, so you shouldn't be giving that to anyone. Also, look at how some of these places tell you that they want you to pay too. We were talking about that a little bit earlier. And just think about using that example with the collection agency. They may tell you, we've got your debt, and if you don't give us payment before the end of today, we're going to come to your house and we're going to arrest you. You need to go down to Walmart and buy a prepaid card and put that money on it and call me back with the Walmart card. That you do need to be careful with. Don't let anyone pressure you into paying off any debt that way or into paying for anything with those types of mediums. The reason why that you want to stay away from anything that asks you to get a gift card or a reloadable card or use Western Union or MoneyGram is because guess what? Once you send that money, there's no way for you to get it back. There is protection built in when you're using your own bank account, things like that. You may have to jump through some hoops, but a lot of times the banks will try and work with you to see that you get your money back. A lot of times the banks and government institutions will lodge different types of complaints and investigations against these businesses to help you get your money back. But if you can avoid it up front, that's the best thing that we want to do. Also, talk to someone. Ask someone around you if they've heard of this type of scam. You can contact a counselor, Family Credit, asking if something is a scam or not. look at different types of professionals you can talk to and just see if they've heard of it, if this is reputable, because you don't want to fall victim to all of these different scams that are out there. Now, a lot of times you may even get phone calls from robocallers. I know those come in all the time where they ask you to hold on and they'll transfer you to the next representative to help you. Big red flag. Stay away from those types of calls. A lot of times if you stay on the line and let's say they'll ask you to hold or press 1 to be connected to a representative. With you pressing 1, what you're doing is you're opening yourself up for harassment. So if you get those calls, just hang up on them. You don't want any of this to continue and you don't want to be the victim of identity theft or fraud. So just hang up. That's the best thing that you can do. If you try to connect with them, then you're just opening up a gateway, and I don't want you to do that. Look out for these free trial offers. Sometimes you see those offers where you can sign up for a certain service and it's for 14 days and then you can cancel. Be careful with those. Now, a lot of times when people offer that free trial, they're doing that because they want you to sign up, but most likely because they know that you will forget that you've even signed up. That's what they're banking on. They want you to be aware, or to not be aware actually, and that way whatever money that they can collect, they'll collect it. Then there are some people who don't like to talk on the phone. They don't like to admit that they've been had, and so they'll continue to let this build and to be billed each and every single month and taking money out of their account. Be careful of that too. Stay diligent. Look at your bank account. Monitor your activities, and if there is anything wrong, be sure that you talk to a bank representative. Keep a close eye on your account because there's so many different ways that people can drain money from you and you not even know it. I've had consumers over the past few weeks that have reported that, there was a strange $5 coming out of my account each and every single month. But you may not think anything of it at the time. But if you keep letting it happen, that's more and more money that these places can get from you. So I want you to be aware of that. Monitor your accounts, monitor your statements so that does not happen to you. And like I said, if something happens, you need to report it right away. Another scam that I've seen some consumers fall victim to is the promise or hope that they are getting a check for a large sum of money and they put it into their bank account. Please do not deposit any type of check or thinking that it's a check and it's actually become a fake check and it will draw your account over. I've seen so many people hurt by this. There are so many different places that will write a fake check and they'll mail them out, do a mass mailing to everyone, thinking that as long as I get one person to cash that check, that's money that they can't recover. And then you're left out. And a lot of times, not only will they allow you to cash that check, you think you have the money, but that opens up a gateway for them to actually drain your account too. And there's no way for you to recoup what you've lost through that. Looks like we've got another caller. Hi, welcome to the show.
Hi, I have a question. I have a collection agency that keeps calling me and telling me that I owe them money, but I don't see the bill anywhere on my credit report.
Okay. Oh, now, when you're dealing with that, you do want to pay close attention to your report. And if you do not think that it's your debt, you need to have that collection agency, when they call you, tell them to send you validation. Do not hold a conversation with them because a lot of times they're just going to try and use harsh pressure tactics to get you to make a payment right now. And that's not what you should be even trying to do, especially if you don't believe you know where that debt came from and you don't believe it's yours. The one thing you want to do is tell them to validate that debt and get them off of the phone. Now, while you're on this call, though, I want you to pay attention to who you're talking to. Ask them for their contact information, the number that they called from. Take that down. Ask for their name, their extension, whatever department that they may be in. That's important because a lot of times if you get resistance from the collection agency, then most likely it's not a collection agency. It's just somebody trying to make you pay the money.
Okay.
So pay attention to that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. As a consumer advocate, I want you all to be aware of those different scams and harsh pressure tactics that these places are using. You do not want to fall victim to it because it's a long road to recovery. Now, if you find yourself being victimized or you think that you've been the victim, the first thing that you want to do, like I said, you want to pay attention so that you can report it. And again, when you're paying attention to the place that's calling you, the entity that may be taking money out of your bank account. You're paying attention to all those different types of things, and you're looking for those red flags that we've talked about as far as like how they're asking you to make the payment, the name of the organization. You want to pay attention to where they're calling you from. Is it in the United States or outside of the U.S.? You want to pay attention to everything that you can, and then you want to do an online search and see if it's reputable. After you do that, I do need for you to report it. There are so many different entities out there that are there to help you as a consumer. So we'll talk about some of the places or the ways to start reporting that in a second. But right now we've got another caller. Hi, caller. Welcome to the show.
Hi there. I had a question. I received a weird email. My friend said it was a scam, but it had court information on it, and it said I owe a bunch of money. Is this actually a scam, and how can I tell if it is?
Honestly, it sounds like a scam to begin with. The first red flag there, you said that it was court paperwork. The court is not allowed to send any documents to you by email. So that's the first thing. Nothing that has to do with court or being sued or a lawsuit will come through your email. It has to be mailed to you. So that's the first thing you want to pay attention to. Now, when you start reading the letter, you might notice that there may be some words that are off. Do you see any of that going on? A lot of times there's a lot of grammar problems. There are words that are spelled incorrectly. There are things that just don't make sense. That's another red flag. Another thing that you want to look at is the person that is signing that email or letter or whatever you've received, and see if that makes sense. There's no one from the, there's so many different made up government entities that these places try, like the FBI. They're from the FBI. But if it's going through the court system, why would the FBI be signing it? So you want to think about those. These are all red flags that people fall victim to because you see something that says you're going to be sued, and so you get scared. And that's okay, that's normal, but I don't want you to think that you really are. So you want to look at those red flags and just make sure that you stay clear of it. A lot of times we allow certain spams to get into our email system as well. So you want to make sure that you've got a spam filter on that's guarding for things like that. You want to make sure that your accounts are always kept up to date so that garbage won't get filtered in. That's something else you can do. And also pay attention to anything that you get, because a reputable agency, a reputable business won't send certain things to you through the mail, through the email, unless you have said that it's okay. Also, you want to pay attention to the email address that it's coming from too. Sometimes they can mask the emails to make it seem like it's a reputable place, or it really is the court system, but when you look at it closely, you may see somebody's Gmail or some strange email address that's actually started that email chain. So that's something else that you can take a look at and make sure and know for a fact that it is fraud, and you don't want to be the victim of fraud or identity thefts. So stay clear of that. If you are, you need to report it. You can send that to the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau, and they've got a really great system for reporting fraud. Also, the Attorney General is great about fraud protection as well. So she wants to know, the Attorney General's office, they do want to see those emails. They want to see what they can protect you from too. So you want to file a complaint and save all of those, upload them to the website. You can save a snapshot of that email, upload it to the website. That way they know what to look out for. I just want you to be protected. There's so many different things out there, so many places that try and take advantage of you. And so you need to just be more diligent and don't fall victim. Keep yourself up to date with all the things that are happening. Follow the news and do whatever you can. And remember that there is protection and help out there. Family Credit has lots of tools and resources that will help you when you're actually trying to repair your finances. Report identity theft. Look at your credit report. those are some really great tools and resources. So go to Family Credit's website or dial the 800 number, and there are counselors on standby to talk to you about any type of issues that you may be having. And we'll be back next week. So if you've got any other questions and you have some stories that you may even want to share with us, feel free to do so next week. We will see you then. Take care.